What is up, you guys? It is Maddie here, and today I'm here to answer a question about Fallout that no one has ever taken a crack at before. That question is a Fallout game in Europe possible? Well, let's take a look at all the information I have gathered, and let's find out. So let's start off by covering some of the lore first. When the Great War began, China obviously fired on US and the US fired on China. So this means most of the devastation would be focused on America and the unseen China. I wouldn't be surprised if the continent's countries that were specifically untargeted, like Africa, South America, North and Western Russia, and the primary focus in this case, Europe, would be relatively intact compared to what we've seen so far. But here's the thing. What did cause most of the destruction in Europe was the resource wars when they began in April of 2052. The spark of the resource wars was when the Middle East began raising the prices of its oil, and Europe responded with military action. The resource wars came to an end because the very oil they were fighting for ran completely dry. After that, both areas were left in ruin. What is important to note here is that none of these areas were nuked, or at least that's what it seems like. It is worth mentioning, though, that it is unknown whether or not Europe took the steps to ensure survival like the United States did through the creation of Vault-Tec vaults. But the question that rises is, if we can traverse a nuked wasteland in Washington, D.C. or New Vegas, then why not a bombed-out United Kingdom, for example? Now that the lore behind Europe is out of the way, let's cover the characters out of that continent. First, there's Alastair Tenpenny, an 80-year-old Englishman turned American entrepreneur, the man who discovered the Tenpenny Tower and saw it as an opportunity. There's also Desmond Lockhart, who is another character from the United Kingdom who is a part of Her Majesty's government. Even after the Great War, he found himself trying to continue his mission and traveled to the US to carry it out. How these characters made it to the US is unknown, though. The only NPC with a boat that comes to mind in a Fallout game is Tobar from the Point Lookout DLC. Unfortunately, though, he states that he only travels between the Commonwealth, Boston, and North Carolina. That's all for the characters. Now let's get the perspective from a few developers of the most recent Fallout games being Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, a pre-Fallout Resource Wars game set in collapsing Europe during the United Kingdom's invasions of the Middle East is one of the games that J.E. Sawyer would like to make if he could do any game regardless of money and developing time. J.E. Sawyer was the lead designer and project director of Fallout New Vegas. When Emil Pagliarulo, lead designer of Fallout 3, was asked about Alastair Tenpenny's reasons for leaving Europe and going to the US, he stated, "Alastair Tenpenny came to the capital wasteland from Great Britain to seek his fortune, so that alone tells you that the UK was also hit in the war. And if he could come to the US to succeed, that says a lot about how screwed up Europe must be. So we just allude a little bit to the state of the rest of the world. We like to leave it a bit to the player's imagination, and somebody like Tenpenny serves as a catalyst for those thoughts." End quote. So now that we have all the information that I've gathered, let's answer the question. Is a Fallout game in Europe possible? In my opinion, the answer is yes. Now let's think about it for a second. There is room within the lore of the Fallout universe to create a post-apocalyptic universe and a game set in Europe that could easily answer all these questions for us. Also, as I stated before, if we can travel a nuked wasteland in the United States, then why not in Europe where the damage is most likely less apparent? Furthermore, if we can't see a Fallout game after the Great War set up in Europe, it seems very well possible that we could see one before the Great War, according to J.E. Sawyer. But that's all I've collected on information of a Fallout game being set in Europe. I think it's very well possible. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Be sure to share this video, ladies and gentlemen. I can count on one hand the amount of times I've asked someone to share a video, and I hope this is one of them that really gets out there, because this is a question that has not been answered before. No one has taken a crack at it, so I figured I would as well. So I hope you guys do share this with your friends and whatnot, post it on Reddit, Twitter, Facebook, etc. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you learned more about the Fallout universe, and I'm curious as to your thoughts if you think a Fallout in Europe is possible. Be sure to let me know. Other than that, stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.